Commander Zexithara's six eyes narrowed as she reviewed the sensor readings for the third time. The holographic display flickered with data that shouldn't exist, couldn't exist. Yet there it was, defying every scientific principle the Galactic Coalition had established over millennia. "Impossible," she whispered through her translator, her chitinous mandibles clicking in distress. "Run the scans again, Lieutenant Vorth." The young crystalline officer's form shimmered nervously. "Commander, I've run them 17 times. The readings are consistent. There are indeed life signs on the third planet." Zexithara's homeworld of Kepler 442b was considered harsh by most species. Temperatures that could freeze methane, atmospheric pressure that would crush most beings, radiation levels that required constant shielding. Yet even Kepler 442b was a paradise compared to the nightmare world spinning lazily before them. Earth, Sol 3, the graveyard planet. According to every database in Coalition space, this world was a toxic hellscape. Atmospheric composition, 21%. Oxygen, a highly corrosive gas that would dissolve most known life forms from the inside out. Gravity, 9.8 meters per second squared, crushing enough to liquefy the bones of 90% of known species. Radiation bombardment from its yellow dwarf star, unfiltered by any meaningful magnetic field protection. And the temperature variations, from -40 to +50 Celsius in some regions, absolutely uninhabitable. Yet the sensors were detecting not just life, but thriving civilizations. "Set course for the fourth moon of the outer gas giant," Zexithara commanded. "We'll observe from there." As their stealth ship, Silent Nebula, approached the moon humans called Europa, more impossible readings flooded their instruments. The humans, for that's what they called themselves, had somehow established colonies even here, in the radiation-soaked void between worlds. "Commander," Vorth's crystalline structure pulsed with excitement. "You need to see this. They're not just surviving. In the hard vacuum, they're working in it, without environmental suits." The view screen magnified to show figures in simple fabric coverings moving across the lunar surface of their own moon, constructing massive metal frameworks. They worked methodically, efficiently, breathing the nothingness of space as if it were the gentlest atmosphere. "That's impossible," Zexithara said, but her conviction was wavering. "No biological entity can process pure vacuum." "There's more, Commander. Watch this." The display shifted to show the humans' homeworld, cities sprawled across continents, billions of the creatures moving about their daily lives. But what made Zexithara's respiratory slits seal in shock was what they were doing for recreation. Groups of humans were deliberately exposing themselves to their sun's radiation, lying motionless for hours absorbing energy that would cook most species in minutes. Others were diving into vast bodies of their corrosive dihydrogen monoxide, the universal solvent, and somehow not dissolving. Most shocking of all, some humans were climbing the planetary mountain ranges without any breathing apparatus, functioning normally in atmospheric conditions so thin that Coalition members would need full life support. "Run a genetic analysis," Zexithara ordered. "These can't be natural evolutionary products." The results came back within minutes, and they were more disturbing than anything they'd observed. The humans were completely natural. No genetic engineering, no cybernetic enhancement, no symbiotic relationships with technology. They were simply biological entities that had somehow evolved to thrive in conditions that would be instantly lethal to virtually every other known form of life. "Commander," Vorth said quietly, "there's something else. Their historical records show they've been deliberately making their world more hostile." "What do you mean?" "They've increased their atmospheric oxygen levels over millennia. They've systematically eliminated weaker members of their species through something they call natural selection. And Commander, they've weaponized their environmental conditions." The display showed archived footage of human conflicts. Humans pursuing other humans across frozen wastelands, through crushing jungle humidity, across waterless deserts, up impossible mountain faces. They were using their own hellish world as a weapon against each other, and somehow both sides survived. They're apex predators, Zexthara realized with growing horror. Not just of their world, they're apex predators of physics itself. More data flooded in. Humans regularly consumed substances that were toxic to most species as casual beverages. They had domesticated creatures that could kill most coalition species with a casual swipe. Their recreational activities included deliberately subjecting themselves to gravitational forces that would render most beings unconscious. "Commander," Forth whispered, "what do we do? The coalition needs to know about this, but who would believe it? And more importantly, what happens when these humans discover space travel isn't supposed to be difficult for them?" Zexthara stared at the impossible world, watching impossible creatures thrive in impossible conditions. The rest of the galaxy had spent millions of years developing technology to make survival possible in the harsh cosmos. These humans had apparently evolved to make the cosmos seem gentle by comparison. "We return to Coalition space," she decided. "We report everything, and we pray to whatever cosmic forces still listen that these humans never realize just how soft and fragile the rest of the universe really is." As the silent nebula engaged its faster-than-light drive, Zexthara couldn't shake one final, terrifying thought. The humans had called their world Earth. The word, her translator informed, her meant ground or soil in their language. They had named their toxic, radiation-soaked, gravity-crushing death world after something so mundane and safe that they used it as a synonym for foundation and stability. If Earth was their idea of stable ground, what would they consider a challenge? The universe, Zexthara realized with growing dread, was about to find out.